This is not a nuanced program. Remember the difference between Tesco, perfume, and arpege. We're the Tesco. We're slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, bend over. We're next. We're done with them. And then we kick them to the curb. That's what this program is. There's nothing fucking nuanced about it. You make a lot of fucking calls and you'll make a lot of fucking money. There are no nuances in this deal. There aren't. It's the antithesis of how people have gotten successful. And when we listen to webinars of the guys, you know, after 7 months, I'm using my words, not his words. I pissed around for 7 months trying to be nice to people, trying to convince people, and then I just fucking punched them in the face. And I closed 2 deals in a week. I closed 3 deals the next 2 weeks, 100% financed. Because the odds are there's nobody in this room, and even when you get outside assistance, that's a good enough salesman to sell anybody anything. You're rat shit. If you were a fucking salesman, you wouldn't be here. It's like a year or 2 ago, we had the leading Mercedes salesman in Britain. And we had another guy, another leading salesman. And they laughed and laughed. They said, I've never heard how many different ways you really have to make cold calls. Does it all come down to calling? And for those of you that have hired somebody to do the calling, you're going to fail. We have guys that have bought automatic dialers and all this bullshit to make calls. And actually, that you can now computerize, have screening questions. Forget about it. The guy that leads the country in Mercedes sales, who's in London, they have 2 different systems of selling cars. It's the up system. In other words, when they come in the door, Tom's up first, then Goins is up, then Jeremy's up. You take them in order. Then there's every man for himself system, where you just grab whoever comes in. You never go take a piss, you never go take a shit, you never go have lunch with them. Those guys are the guys that lead the nations in sales. But this kid, I said, well, what are you up? He says, we're on any way you want to grab the prospect. And I laughed and I said, you probably go out on the street and flag him down. He says, that's exactly what I do. He goes out on the fucking street and flags people down driving by that's got a 2 or 3 year old Mercedes, and he jumps on them right there. And he leads the UK in Mercedes sales, not by 10%, by 500%. I had a guy who did his first deal a few months ago, and he wrote me a letter and he said something to the fact, if you had told me that I was only 2,000 calls away from doing my first deal, I would have sent you the 20 grand and I wouldn't have come to the seminar. I'm going to say it again, slow. If you had told me that I was only 2,000 calls away from making my first deal, I would have sent you the 20,000 and not come to the seminar. Doesn't have to be 2,000. He's a shitty salesman. He's got no sales skills, kind of like Connor. No sales skills. Connor is too smooth to make QLA work so far. He's too polished. He's too educated. Now, most of you can't say that in this room because you're pig fuckers and you don't even know which end of the pig to fuck. That's pretty dismal. YouTube, did you get that? Well, maybe that was a little too fast for you because the YouTubers are retarded. Yeah, and I don't mean retarded. I don't mean this kind of retarded. I mean just you're retarded in between your ears. Okay. Okay. Well, those were the 2 points that I got from. This is. Where's the picture of myself? This is. He's got a woman I like. Boom. Crack his head open, take the slut out and fuck her. That's this system.